Growing up in the shadow of your older brother may not sound fun, but Taulia doesn't care and instead is looking to create his own legacy.
It's in a tough division, looks tougher. Downfield, Tagovailoa hits his man in stride, Dante Demas.
Ever since he was young, Taulia had a great relationship with his family, and as he would say, our family's just super close. My whole family is a football family. As a kid, he grew up in Iwa Beach, watching the Cowboys and playing with his older brother Tua. Instead of taking reps at Q, as a younger brother, he was the center for his whole life, just snapping the ball to his big bro. Although a perennial center as a kid, once he got to high school, things changed, and as a freshman, he started at Q in only the third game of the season. You would think that Taulia would struggle at least a bit in his first start, but he just didn't work that way, and instead had nearly 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Keep in mind that Taulia was playing like a senior as a freshman, which is what many would consider special. Well, fast forward a bit, and Taulia's talent traveled with his older brother to Alabama, as his entire family moved to Alabama. As Taulia would say, when we moved, it was just us. Going through that kind of culture shock as a high schooler is rough, but didn't stop Taulia from doing his thing on the football field, and as a junior, he was able to pass for over 3,800 yards and 36 touchdowns. The following year was more of the same for good old Taulia, as he had nearly 3,700 yards and 35 touchdowns in one less game than his junior season, and capped off his time in high school on a high note. Not just good stats, but solid enough to make him a 4-star recruit, and upon that a top 10 prospect in the state. With his brother only a few minutes away from him in Tuscaloosa, it only made sense that he should join him, and Taulia did that by becoming a part of the Crimson Tide. While in Tuscaloosa, Taulia developed a bond with the then OC Mike Locksley, and so after his brother left for the league, it only made sense for him to follow Mike to Maryland. Keep in mind that Taulia would have to sit behind a Heisman caliber stud in Mac Jones if he stayed, so it only makes sense that he would try something new in Maryland. Not only did Taulia have a good relationship with, as many would call him, Locks, but his parents and his brothers loved the dude, so it was a no-brainer to try and do something with him in Maryland. Although everything was peachy keen getting there, it didn't mean that everything was going to magically go well, and in his first game as a Terrapin, Taulia found this out the hard way. In his first game playing with the team, Maryland went up against Northwestern, and Taulia not only had under 100 passing yards, but 3 picks and a 43-3 loss. Although many would struggle to get back on the right track after such a rough performance, immediately following the loss, my man got back to work and responded in a big way. After the humiliation, Taulia led Maryland to back-to-back wins over Minnesota and Penn State, with nearly 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 on the ground. This kind of stuff is what special players do time and time again, and Taulia is one of those guys, as the definition of a unique talent by using his first game as a learning experience. Although you would think Taulia would try to ignore his rough start, he referred to it as a blessing, and even talked about asking God for guidance through situations like that. Being able to deal with something as crummy as a blowout and then bouncing back right after is not something you usually see out of someone that new to college football. Anyways, after getting that kind of experience early on, Taulia went into his second year with the Terrapins looking to go ham, and he's done pretty well so far. Through 3 games, Taulia has passed for nearly 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and upon that led the team to a 3-0 record. Not too shabby for someone with only a handful of games under his belt. This is great, but even better when you understand that he could only play 4 games last year due to the virus situation and injuries, so he might as well still be in his first year. Although seemingly a lot to deal with, Taulia is far from a joke and knows what is really important. What allows Taulia to do stuff like this is his focus on the future, and not letting these little road bumps affect the goal at hand. Taulia is trying to win a national championship for all the people in Maryland, which may seem like an impossibility, but Taulia is always motivated to do whatever it takes. Remembering that his ohana, or family, comes first has helped him through all these difficulties and pushes him to keep working that much harder to be his best. Before we talk some more about Taulia, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more stuff like this. But anyways, back to the video. Taulia is not only a unique player, but an even better person, and unlike most of his colleagues, he's focused on just family and football. In fact, Taulia only uses his phone for 2 things: talking to family and watching film. This may seem fake, but is no joke. It makes him an anomaly within a world that is so focused on social media and what people think of each other. Although likely a hindrance for his chances with all the NIL stuff, I think Taulia is focused on other things right now. Growing up with cell phones and video games as a privilege instilled a one-of-a-kind focus in Taulia that got him where he is today. In fact, his parents would even say that if he was wasting time on video games, then there was people outworking him. So it makes sense why he's still so focused on the future. The idea of how to treat social media, video games, and all that jazz shows me why there are two studs in one family and explains Taulia's unique maturity. Not only is he just mature, but confident, and sometimes even more so than he should be, as he always tries to extend plays. Although a double-edged sword, more times than not, Taulia is able to get the job done, so you just gotta let it happen. Thankfully for my man, it seems to have worked out so far, as Maryland is 3-0 to start off the season, and looking to have their first winning year since 2014. As someone who is always looking to win, Taulia is looking towards the stars, and so he wants to do much more than just win a few football games. Taulia may be an unknown name now, but just like his brother did before, he has what it takes to become a name that you can't forget.
Downfield wide open, Rakim Jarrett. Touchdown, Maryland!
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, would be awesome if you guys could subscribe, like, and comment down below what stuff you want next. But anyway, see you all soon and peace out.